Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to Career Launcher, and today we are going to talk about quantitative aptitude CAT 2025. And today's agenda is going to be arithmetic. We are continuing the series of arithmetic. In that series, we are going to talk about profit and loss today. And this is the first session of profit and loss, and we are going to have next session next Tuesday. So let's see. So, what does this question say? So, in profit loss discount, there are three terms. One is profit, second is loss, third one is discount, right? So, retail price, this question use the word retail price. Retail price is same as mark price, okay? Uh, so, basically, what question says? This question says that a retailer gives a discount of 15% on retail price. Retail price is mark price, right? And still makes a profit of 2%. Okay. And which of the following ensures that she makes a profit of 20%? Okay. So what I'm going to do. So whenever we have these kind of questions, I write it like this. This is CP, this is SP, this is cost price, this is sale price, and this is mark price. So what I'm going to do, I am going to get to this. Okay, so this is my profit, this is my markup, and MP to SP difference is called as discount. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume that cost price is 100. Okay, she is making a discount of 2%. Okay, so 2% of 100 becomes 2, so selling price becomes 102. Okay, what is the retail price then? So I am assuming that retail price is X. On X, she is giving a discount of what? 15%. So discount is going to be 15% of X. Okay, so what is the selling price? That is mark price minus discount is equal to selling price. So what is mark price? That is X. What is selling price? What is discount? That is 15% of X, or I can say 0.15X. And that is equal to my selling price, that is 102. So I can say that 0.85X, and that's equal to 102. Okay. So it can be written as 85 by 100 times X, and that is equal to 102. So this is going to be what? 17. This is going to be what? 20. Now 17, this comes out to be 6. So X comes out to be 6 into 20, that is 120. So my cost price was 100. My selling price, I don't care about the selling price. Mark price is 120. Okay. So cost price is 100, mark price is 120. Now, how much profit she is expecting? That is 20% profit, right? It means mark price is 120. She wants to make a profit of 20%. It means she wants to sell it at 120 only, right? So how much discount she needs to offer? That is going to be 0% discount. It means she needs to sell it at a retail price only. So retail price means that is going to be option D, that is sell at a retail price, so that she makes a profit of 20%. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. What does it says? In a market, the price of medium quality oranges is that half of good mangoes. Okay. A shopkeeper buys 80 kg good mangoes and 40 kg medium quality mangoes from the market, and then sells these at a common price, that is 10% less than at which he bought the good ones. Find his overall profit. Okay. Okay. So if you look at this question talks about uh, the numbers are not given, right? So basically the profit is 10%, it is less than 10%, whatever it is. So good quality oranges that shopkeeper is buying is 80, and medium quality he is buying is 40. Okay. So I need to calculate my final value in terms of percentage. Look at the options. Every value is in percentage, right? So I'm not assuming that he is buying 80 kg and 40 kg. I am assuming he is buying 2 kg and 1 kg, because ratio of 80 and 40 is 2:1, right? When every value given in terms of percentage, and you need to figure out the answer also in percentage. So go with the ratio, because that reduces your calculation a lot, right? So what I am going to do, I am going to say that good ones he's buying good ones at 2 kg good ones and 1 kg medium ones. Now the price of medium quality is half that of good one. So I am assuming that price of medium quality is 10 or let's say 100. So what is the price of good one? That is 200. Okay. Now what is happening? 2 kg at price of 200. So total cost becomes 400. Okay. 1 kg at a price of 100. The cost becomes 100. So what is the total cost for the shopkeeper? That is 500. Okay. Now, what is the cost of good ones? That is 200. So his selling price is what? His selling price is 10% at which he bought the good ones. So selling price becomes what? 180. Now he bought how many kgs? 2 plus 1 kgs, 3 kgs. So selling price is going to be 180 into 3. So that becomes 540. So what was the cost price? 500. What is the selling price? 540. So what is the profit amount he is going to get? 40 rupees. At what cost? That is 500 into 100. And that gives you your answer, and that answer comes out to be 8%. So this was fairly easy question, not difficult, neither difficult nor lengthy. Just the problem is that people tend to avoid these questions because when the length of the question is high, people tend to avoid those questions. But this is, I think, fairly doable. And again, you need to understand that this 80 and 40 is useless. Instead of that, you can also use 2:1. That reduces your calculation by a lot. So make sure whenever you get these kind of questions, instead of taking the actual number, just do one thing. You can just take the ratio and you can still get the answer easily. Okay. Now, if Fatima sells 60 identical toys at 40% discount at a printed price, okay. So printed price is what? That is mark price only. Okay. She then she makes a profit of 20%. Okay. So after giving a discount of uh, what 40%, she still makes 20%. Okay. I'm going to do the same. Cost price, sale price, mark price. Okay. So cost price is I am how much? I am assuming cost price is 100. Okay. She makes a profit of 20%. So profit is 20. Selling price becomes 120. Mark price is what? X. Discount is what? 40%. Okay. 40% of what? 40% of mark price. Okay. So mark price minus discount. So x minus 0.4x becomes 0.6x. That is my selling price. Mark price minus discount is equal to selling price. And that becomes 120. So that gives us x comes out to be 200. Okay. 120 upon 0.6 will give us 200. Out of 6, she bought 60 toys. Okay. So her cost price per toy is 100. Printed price per toy is 200 and she is selling 120. Okay. Now let's read the question and figure out what we are supposed to do. 10 of these toys are destroyed while selling the rest. On how much she should be given, how much discount should be given on the printed price so that she makes the same amount of profit. Okay. So for 60 toys, the total cost price was 6,000, right? For one toy, it is 100. So for 60 toys, it's 6,000, right? So for 60 toys, what is the total selling price? That is 120 into 60. I would say 7,200, right? She was supposed to buy at 6,000. She is supposed to sell it 7,200. So her profit amount was supposed to be 1,200. This is what we have. Okay. Now she had 60 toys and 10 are burnt. Right. They are destroyed in fire. So now how many she is selling? She is selling 50 toys only. And if she wants to have the same amount of profit, question is not talking about same percentage of profit, same amount of profit. it means she still needs to sell these 50 toys at 7200, right? So 7200 is should be the selling price of 50 toys. So what is the selling price of one toy? That is going to be 7200 divided by 50. So that comes out to be what? 144. Okay. Sorry. So mark price, I would say here that mark price is 200. Selling price is what? 144. How much discount she is giving? She is giving a discount of 56. On what amount? She is giving a discount of 56 at an amount of 200. So basically, what is the percentage discount we are talking about? That is going to be 28%. So answer of this question is going to be option D, that is 28%. We can easily get the answer right in this question. Again, read carefully, get the answer carefully. Okay. Now, let's start this one. Okay. The manufacturer of a table sells the wholesale dealer at a profit of 10%. Okay. Wholesale dealer sells the table to retailer at a profit of 30%. Finally, the retailer sells it to the customer at a profit of 50%. Customer pays 4290, then manufacturing cost is what? Okay. So this is the question that is being asked. So try to understand this point. When I am saying that manufacturer is building something, right? He is going to incur the cost. Okay. Then he is selling it to wholesaler. So that at the price at which he is selling it to wholesaler, that is the selling price of the manufacturer, but that is the cost price of the wholesaler. That's the point, right? Now wholesaler has acquired it. Now wholesaler is selling it to retailer. So when wholesaler is selling it to retailer, the price at which he is selling, that is the selling price of wholesaler, but the cost price of a retailer. So you need to understand this, that every price at which transaction happens, that is also the selling price, that is also the cost price. That is both. The person who's selling, for him or her, it is going to be for him or her, it is going to be your selling price. The person who's buying, for him or her, it is going to be cost price. So this question deals with that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume the cost price is X. Okay. Cost price for manufacturer is X. He is selling it at 10% profit. Okay. So basically cost price of manufacturer is X. Okay. So selling price of manufacturer is cost price of wholesaler. Okay. So he is selling at 10% profit, means X plus 10% of X, that is going to be 1.1X. Right. Okay. Now selling price of wholesaler is cost price of retailer. So cost price of retailer is what? That is going to be he's selling it at 30% profit, right? So 1.3 times means cost price is this. So this plus 30% of X, so that is going to be 1.3 times of 1.1X. Okay. Then what is happening? Then retailer sells it to customer. Okay. So final selling price is what? He's getting 50% profit on this amount. So 50% means 1.5 times. So don't write it's 1.5, 3 by 2 into 13 by 10 into 11 by 10 into X. Okay, so here I am writing values in decimal, but here I am converting into fractions. And this final value is 4290. And why particular I am doing it? Because if you look at CAT gives you a number that is always easy to solve. If CAT is giving this number, it means this number must be a multiple of 3, it must be a multiple of 13, it must be a multiple of 11. Okay, so I'm cancelling it by 3. So it is going to be what? 1430. Okay, then 13, it comes out to be 110. Then 10, 11, it comes out to be 10. So X upon 200 is equal to 10. So what is the value of X? That comes out to be 2000. So what is the answer of this question? That's going to be option B. That is 2000 rupees. So whenever you incur these kind of questions, remember, whenever you get values in percentage and you are stuck somewhere, then the problem is you are solving it in terms of percentage. Don't solve it in terms of percentage. Always solve in terms of fractions, because the numbers that is chosen by uh, the card people is always going to be a relevant number where you don't need to calculate a lot. Okay, now let's start this one. Okay, I hope everyone understood uh, these kind of questions. If anyone has any doubt, can ask any doubt. Okay, on selling a pen at 5% loss. Okay, so there is a loss on pen 5%, on book there is 15% profit. The total profit becomes 13%. Okay, if he sells the pen at 5% gain and 5% gain and book at also 5% gain, okay, he gains 13 rupees. Okay, what is the cost price of book in rupees? Okay, excuse me. Okay, so I have two things. One is pen, second is book. Okay. Pen and book. I am assuming cost price of pen is P. I am assuming cost price of book is B. Now, why I can't assume a number here? Because why I can't assume it is 10 rupees or 20 rupees? Because if you see, this actual profit number and this actual profit is number is given. So whenever actual numbers are given, it is always preferred that don't assume a value, right? Because if you are assuming a value, you are already assuming the number itself, right? So in the first scenario, he is having 5% loss. Okay, so 5% loss means negative profit, right? So 5% on the cost price of pen. Okay, 15% gain means 15% on the cost price of book, and that is equal to what? 7 rupees. In the second case, what happens? He is having 5% profit on pen, okay, and a 10% gain on the book, and that is equal to what? 13. So basically, this is a simple question of linear equation. Just add both the values. Just look at this number, add both the numbers. So this cancels out. So you are going to get 25% of B, right? So 25% of B, and that is equal to what? That is equal to 20. Okay. So 1 by 4 of B is equal to 20. So B comes out to be 80. Means cost price of book is going to be 80 rupees, and that's my option A. So I think this was fairly easy question. Write the equation as it is, and you will get the answer immediately. Okay. Now let's start this one. What does it says? Okay. Now in this question, let's read this question. Mukesh purchased 10 bicycles in 2017 at the same price. Okay, he sold 6 of these at a profit of 20% and remaining at a loss of 25%. He made a total profit of 2000. Okay. Generally, what we do if these values are in option, would have we have done? We have assumed the value of we have assumed the cost price of bicycle. But in this question, the cost price of bicycle itself is asked, right? So you can't assume. Okay. So what we can do, I am assuming that cost price of bicycle. So generally we assume 100. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume 100x. I'm assuming that cost of one bicycle is 100x. Okay. So what is happening? Or instead of 100x, this is 25%. So 25% is 1 by 4, and it is 25%, that is also 1 by 4. So let's not go by 100x. So basically I am just changing the number. Instead of 100x, let's assume it is 4x. So basically cost price of a bicycle is 4x. Okay. How many he is buying? 10. So 10, he must be buying at 40x. So this is the total cost we have. Okay. And I need to figure out the value of 4x. Okay. Now, out of this 6, he is selling at 25% profit. Means 1 by 4 of profit, 1 by 4 of 4x is x. So he is selling these at 5x. Okay. and the remaining 4 he's selling at loss of 25% means these 3 he's selling at 3x. Okay. So what is the total selling price? This is 30x. He is selling 6 at 5x, 4 at 3x. So that is going to be 12x. So, and that is equal to what? That is equal to 42x. His total cost was what? 40x. His total sale is what? 42x. What is the profit amount? 2x. 2x is given to us as what? 2000. So what is the value of 4x? That comes out to be 4000. So what is the answer of this question? Option D. That's it. So a question is going to be very lengthy, or question is going to be very easy. The calculation is going to be higher in a question of percentage or profit or loss, or a calculation is going to be lower. It solely depends on one important point, that what is the assumption you are taking. Generally people assume that cost price of bicycle is X. So as soon as you assume X, it means your calculation is going to increase, because in one case your selling price becomes 5 by 4x, in second case your selling price becomes 3 by 4x. So if you see, the calculation increases in this case. You can't assume a number in this case, right? So basically when we say that you need to cut down the time, so you need to also practice that in what kind of question, what is the assumption that you need to take. It's not always X is not always helpful. Even 100 is not helpful all the times, right? So work on this will help you a lot. Okay, now let's start this question. A person spent 50,000 on a desktop and a computer. Okay, so his total selling price, his total cost price is 50,000. So 50,000 his total selling price. Okay, and out of this he is buying desktop, that is D, and laptop should be 50,000 minus D. Okay, so I think, let me read the question, that whether I am assuming right or not. It is talking about the cost of the desktop. Okay, so I have assumed the cost of desktop, that is D. If the question is talking about what is the cost of laptop, then I would have assumed the cost of laptop is L, and cost of desktop should be 50,000 minus L. So those kind of things you need to figure out. He sold desktop and he sold desktop at 20% profit. Okay, so selling price of desktop is what? 1.2D. Okay, not okay, and let me read it. And laptop at 10% loss, he made an overall 2% profit. Okay, so what is his profit amount? That is 2% of 50,000. So 2% of 50,000, I can say it is 1,000 rupees, right? So 1% of 50,000 is 500. So 2% of 50,000 is 1,000 rupees. So I'm not writing this equation. I'm writing the equation only for profit, not for the cost price or sale price. In the desktop, how much he's gaining? He's gaining 0.2x, 0.2D. In laptop, how much he is losing? He is losing 10%. 10% means this is minus 10% of the cost price. Okay, so 10% of the cost price is what? 50,000 minus D. Okay, and that's equal to 1,000. Okay, let's remove decimal. So this 0 increases. Okay, so I got 2D minus 50,000 plus D, and that's equal to 10,000. Okay, so from here I can say 3D is equal to 60,000. So D comes out to be what? D comes out to be R 20,000. Okay. So basically, what is the purchase price or cost of desktop? That's going to be 20,000, and that's it. We got the answer. So fair point. Now, if I look this question very closely, okay, so I have desktop, I have laptop, and overall profit is 2%. So basically, how can I solve it? Okay, so if you know allegation, you can also solve this question very easily. Okay, how it is? How I can solve this question by using allegation? On the desktop, the profit amount is 20. On laptop, the profit amount is minus 10. Overall, the profit amount is 2. Okay. So this comes out to be 12, this comes out to be 18. So ratio of cost price becomes 2 is to 3 and total cost price is 50,000. So I can get the cost price of each of them very easily. I am breaking 50,000 in the ratio of 2 is to 3. So cost of the desktop becomes 20,000 and cost of the laptop becomes 30,000. This is a very shorter approach, but for this you need to be a little bit comfortable with the allegation. If you're not comfortable with the allegation, then this the second approach, that is the shorter approach, is you won't be able to use that in the exam, right? Then if you're not comfortable with allegation, then you need to take the first approach only. Okay, so A has asked how to improve quants. So basically I would suggest that uh, uh, practice a lot of questions, and second thing, I would say ask a lot of doubts. Okay. So try to understand. We do a session on Saturday. We do a lot of session on YouTube. We ask people to be upfront and ask the doubts. So basically, when you practice a lot of questions, you ask a lot of doubts. Then you have a lot of doubts. So when you have a lot of doubts, then ask a lot of doubts. Right. So easiest way to improve in maths is uh, asking. So whenever you feel that it's a silly doubt, there is no doubt that silly doubt. If you are unable to solve the question, it's not silly, right? So ask anything that you don't understand, right? And we do a lot of session, and we cover more or less everything on the YouTube channel itself. So in YouTube channel, when you are attending any live, just uh, try to understand what is being conveyed and ask everything how it is happening. And that is, I think that's a very good way to go. And tomorrow we have a next session on algebra. This is fifth session of algebra, polynomial. That is again going to be 8:30 by Rupin sir. And the test series is live now. And for the guarantee selection, there is a batch that's called Blackie batch that we have launched. Okay. Okay. So basically, Sahil, you are saying that you are unable to strategically revise. So basically, I would say when Sahil, I think that's a myth that when you are revising anything, there is any strategy. No, the strategies are only used in the mocks, right? So basically, write the mocks. Until unless you are writing the mocks, you are not knowing a lot of things, right? Write the mock. Don't worry about the score. Write the mock. Try to figure out what are the issues you have, right? So the problem lies in the understanding the concept, right? That is the first thing when you are solving the question. Second is, there might be another issue that you know the concept, you are unable to understand the language, right? So until unless you are going to write a lot of mocks, you don't understand what exactly your problem is it the concept? I In the most of the cases I've been teaching for a lot of years, the least thing people should worry about the concepts, because everyone who practices knows everything, right? The problem is they are unable to implement those concepts in the questions of mock, right? And why it is happening? It is happening because they are unable to understand the language of the question. So practice a lot of questions where you get variety of languages, right? So basically I would say go watch all the questions of cat in the series that we have done. Second thing, next time onwards, whenever we do a live attempt, I would say ask. Whenever you I always say, if you have any doubt, ask. If you don't understand how did I interpret the language, then ask why did I thought of this, right? So the more you ask, the more clarity you are going to get. I hope that understood. Fine. So should I wind up the session? Okay, take care. Bye bye. Good night.